Hello and welcome back to another Now You Know with Yorktown Joe. Today I'm taking a look at a figure from Valaverse, the Black, and this is a figure called Vane. We're going to take a look at him. There's the back of his package. Got a portrait of him there. Got his final card or his bio. Let's see. There's instead of a flag point, there's loot, so that's kind of cool. Or spoils for future promotional. And we're going to take a quick look at him and see how he stacks up with some Operation Monster Force and some G.I. Joe. See how he looks. Alright, and here he is freed from the plastic. One thing I'd like to note is the card just slides out of the plastic, so it is collector friendly packaging. So if I wanted to, I could repackage him back into the package and just slide this in. There's no ripping or tearing or any permanence to it. The only permanence is removing the figure actually from the plastic. He's got some little ties on him for that. Let's take a look at this guy. The portrait looks really good. He's got a kind of an intense gaze. Little kafaya scarf here. Bandolier with some additional magazines, some good gear, some extra clever ammunition there, some sheaths for some knives, and questionable hair choice. But to each their own. That's why people can choose however they want. I've never actually opened or handled a Valaverse figure before, so this is my first one. Got him and Blackbeard. We'll be taking a look at Blackbeard a different day. The boots, good. There's kind of a hidden cut right there at the top of the boot, and that is seamless. You can't really, if I hadn't pointed it out, you might not have noticed it at all. I guess if you have way better eyes than I and look really carefully at it under a bright light, you can see that. But then there's a side cut there, good swivels. Nice, clean, smooth butterflies. The elbows are a little stiff, but just got them out of the package. He's got a skull and crossbones logo on that sleeve. He's got a watch. And let's see what kind of gear he comes with. The plastic feels really good. It doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels like a nice solid figure. And for about the price of a classified figure, you can't really go wrong with that. Alright. Let's get two very sharp and shiny daggers there. Those can just slide into his sheaths here in the back. Hopefully they're not necessarily one direction or the other, but those fit in nice and snug. They're not going to fall out, which is good because, with the hilts down and bounce around. He's got a nice primary there. That's handy. He has, I believe this looks like perhaps, you can correct me in the comments if this is a shotgun. It's got a really small opening, so I'm guessing it's a shotgun and not a grenade launcher. But those are some serious slugs. They almost look like sabot slugs, so if people know what that is, they can once again correct me. I'm not the weapons expert, but I did pay attention to this. That's his sidearm, and this came in a separate little baggie. There's this slides on like so, and compensator there keeps the balance to the pistol, doesn't silence it or suppress it, just keeps the balance from, you get a whole lot of kickback when you're in action fighting off pirates or doing your own piracy. It has a sheath, looks like a sheath for that either grenade launcher or shotgun. I guess it's up to your imagination as well. And a really nice, like a broken concrete, cracked up concrete figure stand with a lot of different pegs, openings. So that's kind of handy. Looks like it's got a slot for cards, if I remember somebody else reviewing that correctly. It's got some additional hands, and I think this set of hands, kind of holding underneath a weapon to balance it hands, those are pretty cool. I haven't seen hands like that on G.I. Joe or Monster Force. They've got something like that, but not exactly. And then some punching hands. When it comes to that, you got some pirates or some undead coming aboard your ship or your vehicle. You got problems. And then regular kind of the sea grips, probably for grabbing those daggers for doing some close quarters combat. And then all that and a bag of chips. No, actually not a bag of chips, but an additional portrait. So he's all covered up there in case he wants to be hidden, keep his identity secret, or perhaps he's dealing with a bunch of sand or water spray of some kind. So you can make that guy into a troop builder and have multiples of these heads and then have this guy be the leader, or you can mix and match. It's got all kinds of different gear. But let's get them all geared up, and we'll see how he looks with a bunch of gear on. Okay, this figure didn't come with a blast effect, but I think we all can agree there's plenty of blast effects to go around, and whether you've got them from Operation Monster Force or the awesome accessory packs that Valaverse sells, they fit all of the accessories. And I think that Universal is something that a specific company that begins with an H and ends with an Hasbro certainly could benefit from, is having some uniformity across from figure to figure. But we're not here to begrudge or pick on anybody. This is its own figure, and that looks great. I really appreciate that the butterfly, even with his bandolier going across, that he can still cross pose and hold his sidearm ready for some aimed fire, because battles are won by aimed fire. All right, let's take a look at some other gear. And here he is with the cool shotgun and or grenade launcher, whichever you want to pretend. It's your imagination, your figure. You don't have to make things military accurate perfection. So you can bury me in the comments below, or just leave it go, because this is a toy. Alright, let's take a look at his primary. Alright, here he's looking good. Trying to make an action move there. Slinking up behind somebody, getting ready to do some work. Alright, let's take a look at him with the alternate portrait. And there you go. What do you think of this figure? I think he looks great. He's really versatile, and get a lot of different poses with this guy, and gives you a lot of different customizing options as well. And that's my first Valaverse figure, and now you know, with Yorktown Joe.